Let's put the cards on the table. Did Ariel, the mermaid who defined generations, really give up everything for a man? This is one of the biggest criticisms leveled at the story of The Little Mermaid, and although it seems like a simple question, it overlooks deeper layers that make her journey much more complex and meaningful. Today, we'll demystify this idea. Let's dive into Ariel's journey, analyze her motivations and conflicts, and show that this is not just a love story, it's a journey about freedom, self-discovery, and the courage to challenge limits. Ariel isn't just a young woman in love. She's curious, brave, and willing to fight for her dreams, even when everything is against her. So grab your favorite hairbrush, aka a fork, because we're going to deeply explore the story of this iconic princess. Get ready to see Ariel from a new perspective, freer, more human, and much more complex. Ariel's story begins underwater, in a kingdom ruled by the imposing King Triton. He's the typical protective father who believes his daughter needs to follow the rules and stay away from everything he considers dangerous, in this case, the human world. But Ariel, his youngest daughter, isn't like her sisters. While they seem content with life under the sea, Ariel constantly feels restless. She collects human objects found in shipwrecks and spends hours imagining what life on the surface might be like. Her secret cavern is more than just a place to store things. It reflects her inquisitive mind and her desire to understand and connect with something she feels is greater than herself. Triton, on the other hand, sees humans as a threat, creating a significant barrier between father and daughter. When Ariel sings Part of Your World, she reveals a much deeper desire than simple curiosity about humans. She craves freedom, wants to choose her own path, and longs to experience life beyond the confines of the ocean. And this is exactly why her journey resonates so deeply with audiences. Who hasn't wanted to go beyond what seemed possible? From the beginning, it's clear that Ariel isn't satisfied with the world around her. She doesn't hate the ocean or her life as a mermaid, but she feels that something is missing. Her curiosity about the human world is so strong that she risks everything to explore it, even knowing it goes against Triton's rules. Each object she finds is like a window into a universe she barely knows but is already deeply fascinated by. The song Part of Your World is practically a declaration of independence. Ariel doesn't sing about finding a prince or living a romance. She sings about wanting to walk, dance, explore, and understand what it means to be human. It's a song about self-discovery, setting her apart from earlier princesses who often focus their stories on romance. Eric enters the story when Ariel is already fully invested in her desire to learn about the human world. He's not the initial motivation for her actions but rather the embodiment of everything she admires about that world. He's brave, kind, and, of course, the first human Ariel sees up close. But here's the crucial detail. Ariel already wanted to explore the surface long before meeting Eric. He merely intensified her desire. When she saves Eric from the shipwreck, her enchantment isn't just for the prince himself but for what he represents, a bridge to the world she dreams of joining. The most devastating moment in the story is when Triton discovers Ariel's cavern and destroys her collection. To him, they're just worthless trinkets that need to be discarded, but to Ariel, each piece held deep meaning. It was as if Triton were destroying his daughter's deepest dreams and aspirations. This event is the true catalyst for the story. Ariel doesn't go to Ursula because of Eric. She goes because she feels her dream of connecting with the human world has been completely shattered. It's a moment of emotional rupture, and her decision to seek help from the sea which is driven by this pain. Ursula, for her part, knows exactly how to manipulate Ariel. She offers the young mermaid what she desires most, the chance to live as a human. But the witch imposes cruel conditions, like the loss of Ariel's voice, an important symbol of who she is. Even so, Ariel accepts. And here's the key. She doesn't do it just for Eric but for the dream of being part of the human world. Eric is merely a piece in Ursula's game, exploiting Ariel's vulnerability to further her own plans. When The Little Mermaid was released in 1989, Ariel brought a new perspective to Disney princesses. She was active, determined, and full of life, marking a break from more traditional princesses who passively waited for a prince to change their lives. Ariel was the first to challenge rules, to seek something that made sense to her, even if it meant confronting her father or leaving everything she knew behind. This cultural impact was enormous, especially during a time when female empowerment was beginning to gain more traction. Ariel became a symbol of freedom and adventure for many girls, showing that dreaming big and following one's desires was possible. Decades later, with the 2023 live-action adaptation, this message was reinforced even more. The modern Ariel is more autonomous, more determined, and her story directly engages with current discussions about female independence and self-discovery. She has evolved from just an animated character into a cultural icon. Ariel's story goes beyond romance or adventure. It's a portrayal of the human struggle for identity and freedom. Ariel represents the desire to transcend limits, challenge traditions, and seek something greater than what we've been given. Her sacrifice, giving up her voice to become human, carries powerful symbolism. It reflects the idea that, often, to achieve something we want, we must give up parts of ourselves. It parallels real life. How many times do we suppress parts of our identity to fit into a new environment or achieve a dream? Moreover, Ariel's journey reminds us that personal growth isn't always easy or linear. She makes mistakes, faces challenges, and ultimately reconciles with who she is. Her story is, above all, a lesson about courage, determination, and the importance of truly knowing oneself. Ariel never gave up everything for a man. Her story is much more than that. It's about exploring the unknown, seeking freedom, and fighting for a dream, even when everything seems impossible. Eric was part of that journey, but never the main reason. Ariel represents all of us when we want to go beyond, when we challenge barriers and seek something we feel is part of who we are. She's a symbol of adventure, courage, and discovery. So the next time someone says Ariel gave up everything for a man, share this analysis and say, no, she gave up everything for herself, and that's much more powerful.